I was teaching sound, purely sound, and I truly believe that the sound, the music, it's the main thing for everything, because you may have a great camera, you may have a red camera,
Yeah.
but if your sound it's poor, you are all film. I mean, imagine like a great movie with a poor sound. It doesn't exist.
Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. I have my good friend here.
How's it going, man? Happy to be back.
No, it shouldn't be about anything. Like, this is one life.
Yep, one life? Like, fucking do it.
My guy.
Like, she just got it. She totally understood it.
20 years old when I started just watching a lot of movies.
And it tells a story. I want to tell a story.
Friend, fellow colleague, fellow film director, Martin Rissetto. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Daniel. It's a pleasure for me, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course, man. Are you kidding? This podcast, like I tell people, is a platform for artists, creatives, filmmakers like yourself to come on and share their journey, provide some insight, and ultimately inspiration, motivation, if someone can get a takeaway from this on how to become a better artist or what to learn from whenever they're faced with a challenge. And you are, welcome on this podcast for that reason. So I'm really appreciative of you, contributing your time to really sharing your insight and experience from the industry.
Perfect, man. Thanks to you, and sorry about my English.
Yeah, no problem, man. Are you kidding?
I'm an Argentinian guy, so
shout out to Martin from Argentina, correct? You're from Argentina? Yeah, and this is what I love about it, right? Like this podcast is we're able to connect with different people from different worlds, right? But you and I are very similar, actually. Like, we're both Italian of descent, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good note in my books. You know what I mean? I love that we can connect on that level. And it makes sense to me because I know a lot of Italians migrated to Argentina in the 20th century. So when I saw your last name, man, I was like, you're definitely Italian. Like, you have to be. And you explained it to me, and it's amazing. So do you also speak Spanish?
Yeah, sure. See, yeah.
That's right? Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. But you still know Italian, right?
Yeah, from my mother and my father.
Of course.
It's Rissetto, and the another is Taccone. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
All Italian.
Amazing. A proud heritage for sure, man. We're proud people. And you got to respect the roots. That's what I've learned.
Right.
And you can't,
Today
it's on
Sunday, and especially with pasta.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Today is Sunday and we eat pasta.
Yeah, pasta, exactly. The sugo. If you're not eating pasta, you're making sugo for the next week, right? making a nice tomato sauce that my mom early in the morning. Well, man, thank you again. After becoming friends and colleagues through our line of work, Martin and I, we deal with a media production company, and we kind of cross paths, and we've been assisting each other at that workplace. And it's been a pleasure to finally have you on this podcast. Like I said, you and I have followed very similar career paths in pursuing filmmaking, starting our own production companies, and now providing video editing services to one of the biggest media production companies, like I was saying, in the world. I like to know from you, man, how did you get started in the industry?
Well, it's a long time ago. I started as a bass player.
Oh, okay. So it was music.
Yeah. The music was my first step. And here in my country, it's pretty difficult to live as a musician,
Of course.
I mean, you can do it. I mean, I live because of the music at the end, but it's pretty difficult. So I had to start studying because I really love the bass. I really love the music. And in that time, I went to the musical school. I was 16, I think. And then I realized that I like video too, and I like the radio too. So I went to study music and sound engineer. And that was my first step, working in a company which was Shipping Made Media here, which was a company that made some kind of series and TV shows like the what we do for Impact Theory, but for live TV,
Right. Nice.
That's like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And that,
like the early beginning. You're talking about this when you first started, yeah.
Yeah, but as I said, the music was all for me, and I started as a bass player.
Right. Bass player. That's amazing, man. Yeah. And I'm gonna get into that more so in the podcast. Just looking at your social media, you have a strong affinity for music and a background. I had no idea that was your stepping stone into the industry. So that's really interesting to hear. And music, as we know, as creatives, filmmakers, I should say, storytellers, plays a critical, integral role in our craft. So I'd like to know, before we get into that, how did this production company that you started, because you and I, when we were connecting, we were discussing how we both created our production companies. You much earlier than I did. I created mine during the pandemic, 94 Productions. What is the name of yours, Martin?
Yeah, we are set. That's the name.
What's
Are
the name?
set.
We Are Set? Oh, that's a
Yeah.
cool name. That's catchy. We Are Set. I love it. Yeah.
We are set.
I'd like to know the background behind this. So what was the reason, the intention of making a production company? And so far, like, how has your experience been?
Yeah, well, it's pretty difficult because we started the company in the middle of these pandemic times that we live.
Oh, so I was wrong. So we started around the same time. That's amazing. I thought my impression is earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that crisis, it's like an opportunity, you know?
Of course. Yeah.
So from my very beginning, as I said, as a bass player, as a musician, studying, and then running into companies like ESPN, DirecTV, and GP Media, as I said, I was traveling like video production, like from weddings to private videos to broadcast to, I don't know, publicity, like everything what was with film, with or was involved with music, making music videos for very interesting bands here in my country, like La Mississippi, La Condena de Caín, like. And then I knew Mauro, which is my partner.
Nice.
In all the world.
Yeah.
And we decided to start this company because we really like to work, man, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are hustlers. Yeah.
Yeah, we really like to films, and sometimes you are with a lot of stress, with a lot of work, because at the end you need to live. But we want to make our own company to make what we want. Everything what we want. If we want to edit for Impact Theory, like where we met, let's go and do it. If we want to make short films, long films, series, that's the main reason to do that. We do our own company with Mauro, like, has been 2 years from now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mauro's a mutual friend of ours, or Axel, I should say, right? Do you know Axel Arzola?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a film director, great friend of mine, from Los Angeles based, Cuban director, and he's connected, I think, all of us because of his opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the core. So he introduced us to this company, and we started to work for Axel, like independent, different theory, and we are connected, and we are here right now.
Exactly, we're here connecting. Amazing how it works. Yeah, it's important. It's an important aspect of the industry, right? To network, stay connected. We got to all help each other. As much as you think you can do it on your own, you can.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
you never
exactly.
Know, because right now I'm working with a guy that I met in my second job. In my second job 10 years ago.
See?
Now I'm director, and he's working for me, like,
there you go,
editor, like audio editor. And about that time, he was like, he had a important job than me in that time. But I think that's the main reason to make connections and always be kind with the people.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, man. Like, and I like that point that you made, is one of the jobs, or the second job you had, really led to another opportunity that's lasting till this day. And that's what I was telling a friend the other day, is every time I do a project, or I sign up for a film, like as a director or writer, whatever have you, as long as I'm involved, there's like a huge compliment again to my craft. Like, I must be doing something right, but people want to work with me again, and that just kind of keeps the ball rolling. Before, when I was first starting, I would have to attend networking events in person, obviously when the pandemic didn't exist. And as exciting as it was and eventful, didn't really provide much value to me because I was starting from the bottom, man, right? I didn't have anything to show for, no business card, no filmography. So it's very hard to convince someone to work with. Like, hey, you want to work with me? I didn't even really know how to have a conversation. But like you said, through patience, through hard work, dedication, you find to connect with more people, and then they just know people that know people, and it just kind of keeps snowballing. So I think it's really important to keep that network alive. And yeah, man, great.
Yeah.
You have the right intention.
At the end, you need to be patient because, I mean, I started as a bass player. That's nothing to do with film director, but that gave me a lot of opportunities, and that was difficult times for me. What we have with my mother, my dad dies when I was young.
Oh, okay.
So with my mother passed some difficult time, but I always want to do this. I always want to work as an artist. I don't see my life like, I don't know, a company man, you know, like only company man as an accountant or lawyer. I didn't see my life like that. So I choose this path. And of course, I had to study one thing, two things, three things in order to work, and because I like it, of course. I'm currently a late nerd because I study always.
Yeah, you're not torturing yourself, you know, because you kind of are aware of like how challenging the path is, but you're embracing it. You know what I mean? You're accepting it for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, and just be patient. I mean, all of us want to work and want to get. I want to make big movies like in Hollywood, you know. But
of course, yeah. You have like an end goal for sure.
Yeah, but these times that we live gave us a lot of opportunities to live with the music, with the video, with the direction things. I mean, in the past, I think 20 years ago was not this time. No. Not everybody wants a video, but today everybody wants a video. So if you like this kind of living, like as an artist, as a filmmaker, you only need to be patient. At the beginning, you may have said, but I don't know anybody. How I can make this involved? And
how can I make it happen?
Go, and maybe, you know, I remember the time when we started with Mauro. We started to contact everybody, like for direct message from Instagram, and that's how we met Axel Arzola.
That's amazing.
And here we are.
That's amazing. And then here we are now, and that's exactly that's a beautiful story, man. It's like you said, be patient. Constantly keep at it. That's exactly what happened, right? Is in the pandemic, you know, like you said, in the moment of crisis, make an opportunity out of it. So wasn't getting work. I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't get out of the house, and I always wanted to start a podcast. And I said, this is an opportunity. This is perfect. You had Zoom, right? It's free, it's accessible, and for nothing, literally, I don't pay anything. You can record someone on the other end, and long story short, I ended up getting Axel Arzola as a guest, and he reached out to me because he saw me posting my podcast and wanted to be a guest, and I thought that was very nice of him. And we hit it off. We became friends. We kept in touch. Next thing you know, there was an opportunity at Impact Theory, and he connects me with the right people. And I really I'm indebted to that man. Like he saved me during that time because I was unemployed and I really needed some work. But that's the power of social media. That's the power of the network. And that's the power of constantly be going at your craft, right? While being patient. So well said, Martin. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So back to music, you were a bass player, going back to, that being, there you go, man. I love it. I even see the Star Wars figures in the back, by the way. I'm very observant. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. No, but the Star Wars, the music posters are phenomenal for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Music plays an influential role, in the lives of many people, including and especially artists, right? So upon viewing your Instagram page, I've noticed that you're an advocate of musicians and quite involved in the industry yourself. Why is music an integral part of your life?
Yeah, the music is, the main reason that I'm alive. It was part of me in that difficult time with my mom. We live in a hotel, and the music braced me for sure. I was playing all the day, like 10 hours a day. I went off to school and pick the bass and play it. So that part of my life was very difficult, and the music was all that I have. Of course, my mom, but I mean, I get involved too much in the music. I used to play like in 5 bands at the same time. I want to play with everybody and go to play with everybody.
It served as an escapism for you, what you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's like a passion,
Yeah.
Always writing songs and playing with my friends, and that's the guide, That's the main thing to me. And after that time, the music, I see the music, how the music make a change in me and appears in everything that I do. When I make a video clip for an artist, I know what the artist is doing. I know how, I mean, the harmony,
Yeah.
everything. So that gave me tools to make, I think, better editions, to have tools to talk with the musicians, to talk with the sound engineer for my short film, to talk with another perspective, because it's a perspective of a musician who understands what's happening.
Yeah.
Not only choosing, like, you're a filmmaker. When you send the references for the mixer,
Yeah.
I send my music to do it.
That's amazing. Yeah. So what you're saying is that it provided an advantage for you to have a background in music for filmmaking, right? Like you applied that. And that's what I wanted to transition next is, how does music serve your business and career? Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, I believe that the filmmaker needs to know a lot of things, like editing, like sound, live sound, because you need to know how to record minimum an interview, as a filmmaker. And back in the day when I was a teacher in this school here who calls Da Vinci, and I was teaching the first steps of the new filmmakers, and I was teaching sound, purely sound. And I truly believe that the sound, the music, it's the main thing for everything, because you may have a great camera, you may have a red camera, but if your sound it's poor, you are all film.
I'm applauding, man, because that is something that I am like, you hit it right on the head, man. Like, no, I'll be honest, you're the first filmmaker creative that has said that to me, that sound is the most important thing on this podcast. What I mean, because it's true, man. Like people don't realize, like the story has to be there, but I love that you said it exactly the way I word it to people. You could have a red camera, you could have all the pretty lights, you could have the best color correction, the editing, but if that sound is wonky, like it doesn't come through, people will turn it off. People won't look at it. Yeah.
I mean, imagine like a great movie with a poor sound. It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Even the music has to be like on point. Like if God forbid you have like a war scene and there's an 80s pop song that doesn't fit, you're done. Like the audience is going to check out and laugh. Like you pull them out of the illusion, right?
Yeah, there's an exercise that I like to do with the students that was to put some scary movie, like I don't know, the Exorcist, or another very scary, and mute, and you will start laughing because the sound, it's for me, is the most important. You can always go to the rental. You can always contract a great film director, a great photography director. Right. But if the sound doesn't sound, that's a problem. Man. That's a problem. So that's for me the most important. And for the future, I don't know. I mean, the music, it's always on my path.
No, for sure. That was very interesting and exactly what I expected, right? That's because I respect you as a filmmaker and I know you're very talented. So when I asked that question, I kind of positioned you in a way where I was expecting you to say those things, because I think a lot of filmmakers and creators out there need to understand, if they don't already, I mean, because I'm sure that a lot of them do, is the power of music, the power of sound. Even it's so critical. Like some may argue, like maybe I shouldn't even use music in certain scenes, and sometimes it could actually ruin the scene or elevate it. Like I remember one of my films, like I was I finished it, all the requirements that were needed, and then someone suggested like to add music in one scene that didn't require any music. You just heard the sound, like footsteps and people walking and breathing. And what I'm trying to say is that just for the sake of adding sound doesn't necessarily always elevate, right? The material. Music and sound for me transcends it, right? Like you said, we wouldn't be alive. And that's part of the reason I think why I got into filmmaking, believe it or not. Like I love film, but I feel like if it was a medium that couldn't be told without music, like a visual painting, like an art, I wouldn't get into it. Like music for me is the most exciting aspect of the filmmaking process. When you're editing it and you're putting clips together and then you put in the music, you breathe life into that film. You know what I mean? Because at first it's just like people talking or like it's awkward. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever, like, I'm sure you have, but if you watch behind the scenes of a movie, like one in particular comes to me is Wolf of Wall Street. You know how sporadic and chaotic that is and highly energetic, right? If you ever watch the behind the scenes on YouTube, because there's some clips, it's insanely awkward. Like it's just talking and people walking, you just hear footsteps because that's real life, right? But you put in Martin Scorsese's vision with the music and the voiceover, again, sound and music working in concert. And it completely transcends the material, man. You don't look at it you can't look at it a different way, you know?
Yeah, actually, when I'm editing anything, the first step for me is to choose the music because I mean, I can do it the other way.
Yes.
I may be able to cut all the clips.
Still possible, yeah, but I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, but if I have the music at the beginning, I know I will do better my job.
And the music even dictates the scene, like it guides you as an editor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like instead of you being like looking at it, like I remember that happened to me where I was just looking at these clips and I'm saying, how do I start this story? Like, what's the opening scene? What should be the transition shot? Put music in there. Any editor out there struggling, you know, how do you approach it? Put music, it'll guide. If it's the right song and it like fits, like the tone, the mood, it'll just guide you. Listen to the music, listen to the beats, when to put which clip, you'll be fine. That's how I used it as a compass, man. It's crazy. So I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, the music, it's very, very important. I actually, when I write a script, I put all the music notes because I imagine all the film, you know, like the scenes, the camera angle,
yes,
the tone, the dialogues. But I need to know which kind of music I will put. If it will be a low tempo, if just like a notes, because you know the script. I mean, the final edition is the last script, but I need to put notes because the music for me it's like a guide in the edition. You know, in the montage, it's very, very important. And I see every time I see filmmakers who make a great film with a really poor quality of the sound, of the dialogue, and that's, I don't know how to change it. But I think sometimes I will put like a school here in the country.
No, listen, like everyone's learning, right? Everyone has to, you know, identify their errors, their failures, and get back on that horse. The important thing is they know where they went wrong, right? Like those people you said that have the dialogue that's not coming across coherent or clear through the sound, they need to look at that and say, how can I improve, right? I know that I did that for myself. I said, as soon as I start directing scripted material, I need a dedicated sound guy, you know what I mean, on set. There's no way around it. So because like you said, if you're editing it and you just hear like just noises constantly,
terrible, man.
Even this podcast, like imagine if there's just wind blowing the whole time over my speeches, or like you having a full out conversation about your past, like no one's gonna listen. We were gonna shut it off. Right?
No one.
So and speaking of which, you know, again, talking about like learning lessons, when I first started this podcast, man, I had headphones, Apple headphones, and I used to wear hoodies a lot because that's my style. And I used to scratch the hoodie, and I would have to scrap the video because all you heard was shh, 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 like every time I was speaking, and I'm like, someone's gonna turn it off. So what I'm trying to get at is like that's how imperative sound is. Back to your point, you can't ignore it, you can't dismiss it. Everything else you can tweak, you can manipulate, you can kind of say I didn't have the budget for it, whatever. But if the film you're making is not clear, you're going nowhere with it, unfortunately.
You go nowhere.
I'm really happy we agree on that, man. It's so important. Now I just want to know, like, you know, you've entered the industry or you became a creative, an artist through bass player. Do you see yourself transitioning back to a musician full time and maybe disregarding the whole filmmaking career, or do you see that not happening because your heart still lies in film?
No, I mean, I'm always will play the bass, always will have my band, and will play with my friends. And at the end, how I see the music, I mean, the only way to live with the music is not to have a band and to play in for stadiums.
Right.
You can live with the music as many things because, as we discussed, early, the music is in every film that you made. So I will always will be playing. I won't see me as a full-time musician right now, and I don't know in the future. I mean, if I have a band and we need to go to the road all
Okay,
the
cool.
weekend, we will do it.
Like tours.
But yeah, for sure we will do it. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is to live happy.
Yeah, that's important, man. Well said.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very happy when the day comes to the end and I pick my bass or my piano and make some songs with my friends, Leandro, and that's happiness for me.
Like you're happy. That's amazing, man. And you're happy where you are, and that's the most important thing. I'm so happy you said that. Because sorry, yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I mean that's very difficult because I mean we want more every time.
Of course.
And maybe sometimes we don't have time to slow a little and to think and to see what we have.
Appreciate. Yeah.
So I think we need it. I mean, it's very difficult, but I think we need to go slow and to see what we are making all the day, because maybe you are in your work, in your job, and you're saying, "Oh, I hate to edit
Yeah.
this shit video."
we have that sometimes, man. We have that. I'm so happy you're open and honest about it. I was just talking to a creative earlier, like on the podcast. She was telling me about how she has days that she doesn't feel motivated, doesn't feel like she wants to do it, or like there's comparison, right? But we kind of had a mutual understanding because I share the same kind of negative talk and said, hey, at the end of the day, man, there's only so much you could do. You got to be patient. You got to be grateful for what you're in right now. You got to not be so focused on the destination, because as creatives, we always want more. We're always thinking, what's the next step, right?
Yeah, and even if you are, I mean, if you are an editor and you are right now, you're not editing what you like, but at the end, you are editing.
You're still editing, yeah.
Yeah, you're still editing. You're not selling cars.
That's smart. You're right.
Yeah, you need to be patient. You need to be patient. I mean, I tell this because I work as a seller man in the past.
Yeah.
At my scene, that was a short period, like 2 or 3 years, while I get involved in these companies and start working ESPN, But I lived that. So, and I was struggling because I said, oh man, I'm selling all this day. I want to make music. I want to make videos. But that came because you need to be patient and focus and go to the point.
It humbled. Yeah. Honestly, those experiences humble us, man, because again, this is what I meant by we have very similar paths. I started in my early 20s, like working retail and doing a lot of sales jobs, consulting jobs. And I was nowhere remotely doing anything creative. So back to your point is that if you're an editor, a director, a writer, be grateful that you have, even if you're not editing or directing something you don't want, or maybe writing a project you don't want, you're still in that opportunity to do it, as opposed to, like you said, it could be worse. You could be at a mall selling phones like I did. And that's what I kind of tell myself, right? Like the reality is there's not always going to be every project you like editing, but the fact that I'm in the industry, the fact that I have these connections, this network, just grateful for the ride. Obviously I'm always thinking about what's next, what I could do more, but in the moment, to prevent it from burning out, or for me to be discouraged, it's important that, you just value, like, what's been given to you, and what you work towards, really, in the present.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Amazing, man. So again, I want to get back now to the business side of your craft. So production companies, they're creative entities, right? You and I both share that same interest. for artists to express and promote their craft to audiences and potential clients, which we do on a regular basis. I'd like to know from your production company, what kind of projects are you involved with in the past and currently?
Well, for this year, I want to film my short film. I have write it.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for this year. We need to do it yes or yes.
Sometime you gotta get the dates in. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do it because I really like the script, and
Amazing.
I share it with some colleagues and with some teachers that I have, and everybody's telling, okay, man, let's do it. The original idea was to film it in 2020, but some things happen.
Of course, yeah.
And it was
As they say, life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty difficult time. So this year we will go to film.
You'll get back.
This.
The important thing is you're back at it, right? And you didn't give up on it. So that's good, man. Yeah.
This film was a motivator for me because it talks about the brothers' love, the relation between brothers. So it's very motivational, and it's very important for me, which calls delay, like the sound delay, the effect,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a history of two brothers who lost their parents.
It's a story. It's a personal story. What you're saying, like this is something that resonates with you.
No, it's not all personal, but has some points.
No, yeah, but that's important, and that's why you want to tell it, right? It's a passion project for a reason.
Yeah, because it's motivational, and at the end, it's a relief to share my experience and what I live. I mean, some points, yes.
Cathartic. It's a cathartic experience, they call it, right? Like, and the writing itself is cathartic. Filmmaking, I should say. I always argue with people, like the ones that argue with me, that I need to be on the paper, like if I'm involved, you know what I mean? And what I mean is not selfishly, I just meant like, there's no way to write an authentic script if you're not projecting yourself or your past experiences into it. You know what I mean? And people that, I've had collaborators in the past that, oh, I felt it was too much of you. And I said, well, how else do you want me to write it? I can't write freely if I can't relate to it, like resonate with it, right? My experiences. And again, it's not to be a selfish act. It's just how a writer expresses themselves. It's through themselves. It's from within outward. So people should really, people should look at it for sure as, like you said, really an outlet for relief, right? Cathartic, therapeutic, whatever have you. But the important thing is that you got the script done. Now it's exciting that you're going to be directing it. Yeah,
I have the actors. I'm already feel like a teaser. Yeah, I already got it. So this year will be the main thing that we will do with the company. Of course, continue editing for Impact Theory and the clients that we have. We have a total department for weddings. We offer editing services for weddings, filmmakers.
That's right. You do a lot of like weddings, corporate videos, and music videos, no? Got a lot of music videos or no?
Yes. Yeah, with the pandemic that was a little down because the musicians doesn't have many money and doesn't have any shows, But the last thing that we do with musicians, I mean that was a big thing, was a stadium called Luna Park here in my country.
Right.
And that was really good. I got nominated for an award, which calls Gardel Awards here in my country.
Nice.
That was a really great experience.
Amazing, man. Well, I'm really excited for you. It sounds like a promising year. A lot coming up, and I better be the first one to see that short film.
And I will send you the first.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. Really excited. And I wanted to now ask you, because this is actually new. I didn't know this about you, because I knew you did freelance for Impact Theory, but you're also a director of media for the company Radical Fitness Center.
Yeah, Radical Fitness for me is like family.
Oh, amazing. So tell us about that. Like, what do you do exactly as a director of media? What does that mean?
Yeah, we make fitness videos.
Oh, okay, nice.
43 countries.
Huge demand for that, right?
Huge demand.
Huge demand, right?
Yeah. It's been the last 10 years of my life working with them. And as I said, the guys are like family for me. I don't see me out of Radical Fitness. because it's like
Oh, okay.
family.
Yeah, for sure.
We produce the videos, but we made the music too. So I'm
That's
on the
right.
head.
Your
with
background in
most
music.
Yeah. We make like 60 or 70 songs every 3 months. So that's a lot of songs. We work a lot making videos, making the songs. That's pretty great.
So
We are, yeah.
sorry, go ahead. No, I just wanted to know. So when you said it's a family, like this is family, is it actually a family business, like a literal family, or they're just people you know
No,
for a long time? Oh, okay.
It's not my blood family.
Oh no, yeah. They're
But
just your boy. Yeah, your brothers and sisters, your boys. You know.
yeah. Because here in my country we say like family because uh, it, we take care of each other. It's been a lot of years. The owners of the company gave me the freedom to make this department of multimedia.
Okay.
Back in the days, I was the only one in the company who make sound edition and start filming. We import all the products, and then we start to produce it, and we make this department big and big and big. And right now, like, we are like 20 guys working.
That's amazing, man. So it's just been like ongoing business, like something you've always pushed yourself towards.
Yeah.
And it's been like consistent, right? See how it pays off? Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and I see you doing, like you said, if they're family, that's something that you're gonna be providing your talent to, right? For many years to come.
Yeah.
And the business is
Yeah.
growing? Like that business is growing because of your work? Like Radical Fitness Center, is the business now, like, are you seeing a progression in the company? Like, is it slowly growing? Yeah.
Going up.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going up. We started filming in France like 5 years ago. I went to France
Amazing.
to prepare the team. I mean, that was a crazy year. I went 3 times in a year to Paris to prepare the team, to make the videos. And yeah, the company is going very well. We have a virtual department which going very, very well in countries like Japan and China. And we are very excited about that because, I mean, the virtual, it's coming. With the pandemics, it was what maintained us up because, all the gyms was closed. You weren't able to go to the gym.
Yeah, there was no point.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we won't have the virtual product, it was like a knockout for us. But that was
your content was falling on deaf ears for sure, because that wasn't a priority for people at the time, right? The even for me, like, as much as I wanted to go back to the gym, until I was vaccinated, until I felt comfortable, like, it wasn't really on my mind. So if you're pumping it out, I guess it would work for people like working out at home. But it's not the same as, like,
it's
people
not the
our
same.
age. But you can't do home workouts anymore. Like, I tried that. I said, I got to go back to the gym. I'll wear a mask if I have to, but that's it.
It's not the same, but you have the option.
You have the option. Yeah.
I think it like Netflix. You always have Netflix, but it's not the same to go to the movie. But you have the option.
No, for sure. I'm saying, with your respect to your business, you're doing great. Like, it's effective. I'm just saying, for the notion of, like, people working out, like getting them, really just encouraging them to work out, period. It was very challenging, right, in the pandemic. But now that you're providing those alternatives, I think it would thrive even more during the pandemic, because people were home, right? So they were just watching content all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how is it in your country, but here was a change. Yeah, a totally change. I mean, I have a friend who works in the bank, nothing to do with my kind of job. But this friend of mine was all the days of the life going to the center of the town. And right now, he only go, I think, one day to the center to work in the bank.
Wow.
So here in my country, it's like a change. So right now, we have a lot of people working in the house.
Yeah, every place has been hit differently from what I hear, right? The pandemic has struck the lives of everyone differently. And it's just all about how we cope, right? Like you said, how we make opportunities in those crises, because there's things we can control and things we can. But from what I hear, you were kind of always adamant on being a hard worker, right? Staying focused, and being really true to yourself as a creative. always finding new ways to tell your story, to express yourself creatively. So that's really admirable, man. And that's something that I've been told too. Like, people have complimented me, and not to like give any self-importance, but there was a time when the pandemic happened, when it first began, that I was really concerned about myself, because I was also going through my own issues, and I didn't think this is what I needed. Like, being home, being told I can't find work, I can't work anywhere. And then I realized, you make the best of what you're given, right? And you just gotta kind of tap into your soul, figure out what you want out of life, ask that hard question, and keep working away. It's not always going to be perfect, but you just got to keep applying yourself. So
Yeah,
I think you
not
can't
always,
lose with that mindset. Yeah, man.
yeah, that's totally agree. It's not always perfect. We
It's
always
not
want
always.
more,
Yeah,
and we always. I mean, at the end of the day, the life is this. We all going to the same point, but the thing is what you do in the meantime.
yeah, exactly, man. Right? It's not about the intensity; it's about the consistency. I remember hearing that from somewhere.
Totally.
Like going to the gym, right? You don't have to go. I mean, you don't have to like work out for 9 hours every day you go there, or go psychotic on your diet. But what matters is that you show up. Showing up, that's the hardest part. That's what I always tell my friends. It may be, you may
That's
think
right.
setting up the equipment or writing the script is hard, or getting the actors, but showing up the day of the shoot and actually like committing yourself, that's the hardest part. Or showing up for any of those roles, right? Any of those respective roles. So I'm glad we're on the same page, man. You and I are very similar. That's why I'm excited to have you on the podcast. I believe we share a very similar path and background, ethnicity. Shout out to Italians out there. So I'd like to know, before we leave, what is a legacy you wish to leave behind as an artist?
Oh, that's a hard one,
It's a loaded
but
one, I know.
yeah, but I think at the end, I want. I mean, I want the people to understand that doesn't matter how you start. It's we have a, I don't know how to say in English, but we have a talk here in our country that the path is the most important thing. So that what you do while you are going to this point is the most important thing. You need to enjoy the journey. You need to enjoy the travel. And as a filmmaker, as a musician, I want to live like that. I want to enjoy what I'm doing right here, right now, with my family, with my friends, with my colleagues. And at the end, it doesn't matter if you won this award or if you not, or if you have a millions view or million subscribers, or you won't have it.
Yeah.
The thing is that you need to show. I don't know. You need to be glad about what you are doing right here,
Yeah.
right now. That's the main thing for me.
That's amazing, man. And I'm so thrilled you said all those things, about not caring about the vanity of things, like the likes, the subscribers, all that, because I'm guilty of this. I'm sure you are. Like a lot of creatives, it's just normal, especially the world we live in, where our values weighted on that. But we care about that sometimes, and it doesn't do us any service. It's counterproductive. It kind of takes away, I believe, a lot of our creativity, because we're so focused on making people like it, then we don't look at being different. So
Yeah.
I think it's so important, and that's the right legacy to have, right? Is to remind people, like, just do it, get out there, don't compare with anyone but yourself. And
No.
yeah, I love that, man. It's not the destination, it's the journey, man. We got to remind ourselves
Yeah,
every day.
it's a journey, totally. Because I mean, you can have a video with 10 millions of views, but at the end, if you was not happy making that video,
So
that
what?
will.
Yeah, so what exactly? Or if it didn't teach you
So,
anything as an artist, right? Like,
yeah,
to be better.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you're happy with what you are doing, you can have like 2 views, but you
Yeah.
are happy with what you are doing, and in time the views will come. And at the end of the day, the final thing in life, I believe, is to be happy. As
Exactly.
plain as that. As plain as that.
No, I love that, and that's all. That's all it needs to be, right? Take out everything else, as simple as it is. It's time to be happy and be confident and be grateful for everything you're doing. I think that's so important, man. And yeah, it's a never-ending game, and that's the point. Is that there's no such thing as perfection. But I like what you said. Did you enjoy making that film, even though it got 2 views? Did you enjoy making that post? Because there are times when like my stuff gets a lot of views, but it's like, did I enjoy it? No, I enjoyed this and didn't even get that much of attention, right? Like when I do my artworks, it's like, oh my God, I thought this thing would blow up. Didn't blow up. But you know what? I had fun doing it. I listened to a podcast. I got my, my energy out, again, cathartic, right? Like it was just, I was going through a moment maybe, and I was using that time to kind of get in touch with myself. Yeah. Like amazing stuff, man. I really appreciate that. And I think that's the right mindset to have. So thank you again, Martin, for sharing your journey, man. Yeah, no, I really appreciate this. It's really insightful. Definitely would love to have you come back on the podcast, share your experience, promote that film that you're speaking of. I'm sure a lot of people will want to hear that. And yeah, do you have anything to say before we leave?
No, only thank you. Thank you. I will give you some colleagues' name. I have one who lives in Canada. Actually.
Oh, amazing. Okay, great. Yeah, I'd love to connect with him.
Great filmmaker. You need to see.
Amazing. Yeah.
And now, man, thank you to give me this opportunity to share my experience with you and with your audience.
Yeah.
That's very very important for me. And
yeah,
I'm really grateful.
Thank you so much, Martin. You deserve it. I'm looking forward to that contact. This is what I do, right? I love inviting an area, an experience, a platform for people to come like yourself and explain their journey and, inspire really the next creative or someone that's on the edge or dealing with their own kind of worries on how to become better, how to be better. So thank you again, Martin, for coming on the podcast. Thank you again, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk soon.